Hi everybody, this is Rosa Sharon and I'm back again with another musical review. I just had the honor and privilege to see Hamilton at the CIBC Theater, once known as the Majestic. From first blush, the theater is ornate, exotically designed with Art Nouveau designs such as the flower patterns and the domes that accentuate the acoustical quality of the theater. Everything is opulent, but the seating is slightly cramped if you're not skinny like me, please no hate. Nonetheless, the musical was everything I'd hoped it to be. It consisted of a diverse cast and showstoppers like My Shot, You'll Be Back, History Has Its Eyes on You. Of course, my favorite was My Shot, but I adore the entire musical, especially the entrance of the Schuyler sisters. It is truly an epic musical, showcasing what made America what it truly is and what it is becoming. It's a lesson to all of us that we're important, even if we feel like we're part of the silent majority. I relearned that Eliza Hamilton's impact on history, on opening the first orphanage, working on the front lines during the Revolution, being quite the trailblazer in her day. Of course, I always cry at the 10 Dual Commandments when Philip loses his life. It's heartbreaking, even though, yes, I know it's a play, but it is based on actual events. I cannot imagine what it is like to lose a child. It still gives me pause to know that there's no word in the English language that denotes what a parent that loses a child would be called, and that in itself speaks volumes. Highlights of the show were, of course, the title character. The lyricism of Angelica, Lafayette, and Tom Jefferson were unreal. To rap and lyricize in that way takes unbelievable control and command of the English language. I relate to Hamilton because I myself am a poet, and I hope I too can make a difference in history, and history will remember me as a woman who did all she could to help people become independent. Seeing Hamilton in person is an incredible experience that we can all learn and be inspired from. And of course, I thought the set design was spectacular, was phenomenal. The costumes were just sensational, and of course the choreography was top-notch. And I really loved the apparatus. They had a turntable in the theater itself. One was in the middle, and then the outer circle also rotated it as well. And I thought this was very interesting as a mechanism, and a lot of the scenes and of the play itself had a lot to do with that revolving apparatus, and it was absolutely astronomically done. And of course it didn't reprise Lin-Manuel's title role. It was played by another man, and everybody in the cast was very, very unique in their background, skin color, and I already mentioned that before, but it, like I said before, it showcases how really quite of a melting pot we are. And also, one thing I relearned, but I remembered before, it was the fact that Angelica actually started one of the first black regiments in the Revolutionary War, but it was lost to the annals of history just due to the fact that slavery was still very much a part of the fabric of American life, unfortunately. And it didn't mention Thomas Jefferson's liaisons with his own slaves, but if you look it up, it's there. It's in black and white, and sorry for the pun, but it's available for everybody to read. And it happened. Of course, a lot of people in power with status, they could get away with it just because of their elitist rank. And I also love King George III because he's psycho, and he's very possessive. And the Italia side of me was rejoicing the entire time because I remember the animatic I've seen, and it's just brilliant. But other than that, I really can't say that much about Hamilton, though I give it 2 stars. 2 thumbs way up, 5 stars hands down. don't know what I'm talking about. I guess I'm still kind of recuperating because I loved my experience. I had a magnificent time, but when I was there, I learned very quickly in a big city, you have to remember, see this thing? I'll show it to you. See that? I should have carried this with me. This was a location of where my friend and I were actually parked, and now that I know this, when we actually return to see Volta, which is Cirque du Soleil, we're going to write everything down so we don't get lost like we did this time. And of course, there were a couple really nice men that helped us out, and unfortunately, they were both homeless, and one of them wanted alcohol, so I had to be kind of a bitch and dismiss them both, and I hit the accelerator as fast as I could. I regret doing that. That's not my biggest regret, but I was more concerned with the safety of myself and my good friend. So I think in all retrospect, I did the right thing. Oh yeah, and in Danville, I also got pulled over by a cop because I went through a red light, and he was actually ahead of me. He was following me the whole time. And then I got paranoid because I thought I saw another cop through Danville. So yeah, it's actually out in the sticks in Indiana. And if you get stopped by a cop, yeah, it's pretty common. And he didn't even give me a warning or a citing or anything. He just said, you should be more careful. We could have bumped into each other. I thought, don't you have anything else better to do, Mr. Police Officer? Don't be bothering me. And then he looked at my ID, and of course the same thing I hear from all cops is, gee, you look really young. Ugh, Faye. Okay, are you married? Please stop hitting on me. Go your way. Get to a Dunkin' Donuts and leave me be. But anyway, that's all I have to say. That was the peril of the moment. That was the adrenaline that gives me life, I suppose. No, I'm just kidding. But a little bit of adrenaline and peril, I guess, is a good thing in life when you feel like you're in the doldrums or you're stuck and you realize, oh, I'm really not. And these things do happen to people like myself and my friend. And we thought we had everything was copacetic. We were in the right mind that, oh yeah, we know where we are. Don't do that in a big city. If you're in a big city, get your bearings, write down where you are, do whatever it needs, do whatever it takes in order to return to where you were located and parked, because if you don't, you could get lost like me in a big city, and it's scary. That's not the worst I've ever experienced. The most horrible experience I ever had was when I went to a Pentatonix concert. Now, I love the Pentatonix concert, and you remember that from past vlog that I did if you had been subscribed to my channel. But when I left, it was completely dark, and my car is red, so in low light it's almost impossible, if nay improbable, to find. And I had to have help to locate it, which I did, and the person who did it, I think he deserves a reward or a medal or something. But if you're out there and you're watching this, I appreciate you finding my car and returning me to it so I could go home with no issue whatsoever. But that's all I gotta say. Hamilton is incredibly epic, and I know it sounds cliched, but it is truly one of those experiences that it is hip-hop and R&B and rap, well, old school rap, which is better than a lot of the new school things that they have. Of course, I love the fact that they had a callback to If You Don't Know, Now You Know, and I had to giggle at that because that's my childhood, so it made me really happy. I remembered from the soundtrack, it was all in my head since I knew all the lyrics, but this is the third time I've actually heard the lyrics. I'm counting the animatic as well, but that's all I gotta say about Hamilton. So, till we meet again, live on, prosper. Ciao, Tutti.